reflect, as I mentioned, on some of what we encountered last night. Great to sit down with a Manchester United and England legend, Rio Ferdinand, who joined Rory and myself in Talk Social last night. Here's what he had to say about Erik ten Hag's side and their upcoming season.
What I'm really pleased about is the transfer window. It's been decisive, it's been efficient, they've been effective in that. They've gone for particular players, they've got them. And I'm sure they wanted Kane. They quickly realised that they would have been priced out of the market. Can't get him, move on. Next target, who's in line? Gone and more or less got him now. So I really like that. And that's a difference to what we've been used to in Man United.
It's a positive spin on not getting Harry Kane, but getting Rasmus Hojlund instead from Rio Ferdinand there. But you can understand, you know, what he's saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is very impressive what Manchester United have done in this window, because it isn't in keeping with who they've been in recent windows. Bringing in players that the manager actually wants is a bit of a novel idea for Manchester United. Also, bringing in players early. Manchester United having their players available for pre-season isn't the way that they've operated of late. So I think that is all good news. But I do think that the jeopardy around Hojlund, look, it could work out. He could be a really astute signing, and Erik ten Hag could end up helping to mould Hojlund into one of the best players in the league. But it just doesn't feel very Manchester United to me. It's all very well talking about, you know, signing Mason Mount. I think that's a very good signing. It does feel in keeping with Manchester United tradition. I think what they have done with elevating their goalkeeper away from David De Gea is also very impressive. But Hojlund, yes, I think it's quite clever, and there is an element of spin there from Rio Ferdinand to try and portray this as being excellent news. It's good news because they've operated decisively. But I'm afraid that when a player like Harry Kane is at least potentially available, the Manchester United that I grew up with, the Manchester United that demanded the very best from the top down, would have gone out and made sure that they did everything within their capabilities to get hold of Harry Kane.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that, but I think as Rio pointed to last night, he said the takeover, you know, and the instability and lack of clarity over the future hasn't really helped. And I think a player like Harry Kane would want to know, you know, ultimately, whether you pay the money or not, that he's going to sign up for a project, if it's a project, with some level of stability. He just doesn't know. He could be signing up for the next Chelsea, with all due respect. You know, the new owners may take a totally different slant on the future of the football club, and that would have been a big decision for him, and maybe a club like BeIN. And then the interest that he has in going there is part of who they are as a football club and their identity. Very stable, clear goal in terms of what everyone wants. Yeah, okay, they don't always get along, but you know what Bayern Munich represents. So I think that would have played into his thinking had Manchester United offered the money. And who knows, they might come back and maybe they're feeling that, look, had we got into a transfer saga with Harry Kane and with Daniel Levy at Spurs, you know, we might have ended up going to the 100 and 120 and 130 that maybe we don't want to do. But if we do come in with 7 days left in the window, where it looks like there aren't many avenues for Harry Kane possibly, could we still nick a striker, you know, who is proven at this level?
Yeah. Well, I think if you think about the impact that Hojlund will have on Manchester United, I don't think anybody is necessarily thinking that Hojlund arrives and Manchester United immediately launch a sustained bid to win the Premier League title. I don't think that's the player he's going to be. He could totally surprise us, don't get me wrong. If he hits the ground running, ends up scoring bags of goals, and Manchester United click in the way that Erik ten Hag will be dreaming.
You've been scarred by the Haaland predictions, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm careful now. I'm very careful now. Yeah, I am very careful. But what... I don't think it's too bold a statement for me to say that Hojlund doesn't immediately make them title challengers. If I'm wrong, no. if he ends up proving me wrong, then fair enough. But I think a lot of people will be proved wrong with this one. Whereas I think Kane would.
Yeah.
I think if Kane was a Manchester United player, immediately you're looking at that front 4 or 5 at Manchester United, and you're thinking of the support then from Mason Mount. You're thinking of the pressing capabilities of Mason Mount. You're thinking of the goal scoring capabilities. You then start thinking, what sort of player is Bruno Fernandes with the support of Harry Kane? Like, I think Bruno Fernandes is a brilliant player, and I think he looked good when he was, you know, having to link up with Wout Weghorst. So I suddenly think, what kind of player would he then be? Yeah. What kind of player does Marcus Rashford become? And immediately, I think Manchester United become capable of being serious title challengers. I don't think Hojlund will have that impact.
Yeah, I would have liked just for depth at Manchester United, and you want to take the level up whether they're immediate starters or not, and you want to be the strongest possible squad you can be going into the new season. I would have liked a more controlling central midfielder, possession-based controller, a dictator in that central midfield when it comes to possession. I think Bruno at times, he likes to try the low percentage ball because he can create magic. I just think had we had, I know it's not Frenkie de Jong, but still a player like that in the central midfield area.
Are you excited at all by the potential of signing Sofyan Amrabat?
I think he'll be a first off the bench type central midfielder, someone who can start, if you want to give Casemiro a rest, but ultimately someone who can come on and relieve pressure on the team in the second half. I don't see him as a regular starter in the best 11 for Manchester United. I think we'll see Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes kind of pushed on, and Casemiro in the middle as a holder more on his own this year. So listen, I'm kind of encouraged as a Manchester United fan, but I'm also a greedy Manchester United fan. Hojlund's going to come in as a striker. I would have liked to see us kind of strengthened in terms of the squad in the centre-back area, but also another central midfielder for me would still be nice. But we'll see. Who knows? Manchester United might get all of them in the next few seasons. It was still great to speak to Rio Ferdinand. He had some really interesting views. Remember, you can watch that interview in whole at the moment on the talkSPORT YouTube channel.